Caroline from Crochelina.com, and I've got another exciting video episode for you where I'm going to show you how to do another symbol chart crochet tutorial. So the last video I had 3 different things we could make using symbol patterns. I did in the round, I did row by row, and I did a penguin from Chisako's blog. She is a crochet designer from Japan. And all of her work is basically just a picture of what she made and a symbol pattern. And using this, you can create her creations. So on my last video, I got a comment from Mandy Bake asking if I could do this giraffe on a video. And here I am. Let's do it. Now, for those of you who haven't watched my previous episodes and have no idea what a symbol chart is, or you're just trying to get into it, I've got links below. I have a website post which shows exactly what each symbol means and how to do it, which one means chain, which ones mean single crochet, what means double crochet. And I also have my previous video and blog post which show you how to read all the symbol patterns. And step by step, how to read in the round, row by row, and how to do the more complicated penguin. Okay, so today I'm kind of jumping into this as if you know how to crochet, as if you know the symbols, but please click on the links below, print out the chart which tells you what does a double crochet symbol look like, what does a single crochet symbol look like, chains and all this stuff, so that as you're working with me, you're learning, you're getting practice. The next time you do it, it'll be easy. I can look at one of these symbol charts and know exactly what I'm doing. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. They should look exactly like what you're making. So this, for example, is what it looks like. It's very visual. I love symbol patterns, and it is a universal language. I've done symbol patterns from Japan, from China, from Russia, all over the world, because you can reach a much larger audience. That's why a lot of my patterns that I have also come not only with a written pattern for those of you who don't know how to read symbol charts, but with the symbol chart, just so that you can actually see it visually. What are you doing? Okay, I'm going to chain next. I'm going to single crochet next. So once you take that next step into learning how to read symbol charts, you're going to open up a whole new world of patterns that you can do using these symbol patterns. And I saw so many on Pinterest. You can just look for open work crochet symbol patterns. They're everywhere. So I really recommend watching this and getting some practice. So what are we going to need? First of all, you're going to need to print this out. I'm going to put a link below for my website where you can just download this image, print it out. I'm also going to link Chisako's blog, and so you can see all the other patterns she has and maybe practice with those. You're going to need, I've got 3-ply yarn and a 3.5mm hook, a sewing needle just to sew in your end, and scissors to cut it. And this is what we're going to be doing. First of all, I'm going to show you my pattern, the pattern here, and I'm going to show you how I figured out where to start, how I figured out how to go row by row or in the round or back and forth. Where are the rows? How to determine where you're going to create this giraffe. And then, after I show you how to do that and where you're going to end, I'm going to go through it with you step by step. Okay? So let's get started. Alright, so here I've got the symbol pattern for Chisako's giraffe. And I'm just going to get a pencil and talk you through how I usually go about figuring out one of these abstract patterns. So, first of all, I know that this over here is where I'm going to start. And I know that because that's a magic circle symbol. This whole thing is the symbol for a magic circle. Sometimes it's written like this, with a little swirl in the middle, but this is the Japanese version of it. And a magic circle is a way to start. So you could do a slip knot or a magic circle. So after knowing that, then there's going to be chains that start the next row. So I know that we're going to be going like this and working this way, doing these 2 stitches, and then at the end we're going to chain up and do this row. But what's interesting is here, when you get to the end, you will think, okay, where are the next set of chains? Well, where they are is, these are the chains, and you're actually going to work them after you do this stitch. So we're going to do chain up for this, and then do this double crochet together. And then you're going to do a chain 4, slip stitch, and then continue these stitches. And then we're going to start working this way all the way around into those 4 stitches. This way, and then you see here, we're going to chain up for the next row, go that way, chain up for this row, go that way, chain up for this row, go that way, chain up here, 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 and then where do you go next? Well, we've got a chain, right? We are actually going to chain all the way down here, doing 25 chains. I got the 25 to do the leg, and then we're going to do these stitches into each of the chains all the way across till we get to the other side. Then we're going to chain up, go all the way across, and then because when you get over here, you're going to say, well, this doesn't make any sense because now we're not at the bottom of the foot. How are we going to work here? Well, you're going to chain 3 and then slip stitch into this stitch, and then do your 21 chains down here, and then work back across the leg, across. Then you're going to do your chain 4 to chain up for the next row and work across, chain 4, work across, and then you'll do your chain 23 and then go back onto the chains, do those stitches, and then do your chains and the tail. And this is the ending mark, so this is where you end. A dark triangle is ending mark. I hope that gave you an overview of what we're going to do, so let me get started and actually crochet with you step by step. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to do a magic circle, and just so you know, all of these stitches that I'm doing, for the most part, I have videos on how to do them. So even the magic circle we're going to start off with, I've got a video on how to do it if you don't figure it out from what I'm doing here. So first we're going to do a magic circle. I chained 1 and I kept my loop. Then I'm going to do another 2 chains because we need 3, right? And then I'm going to do a double crochet into that loop. And 2 double crochet together. Again, a video explaining how to do it and why it's done that way is in the link below. It's basically like you do the first half of a double crochet twice into the magic circle, and then you loop and go through all the loops, all 3 loops after. And it looks just like the symbol, right? You've got 2 stitches on the bottom, but then it turns into 1 on the top. So now that we've done our first row, you can close it, if you've done the magic circle correctly, by pulling on the tail. And if not, again, look at my video, because magic circles can be tricky for some people, but I think that they're very useful. I use them all the time for any kind of circle in the round workings. So let's continue. We went this way, now we're going to chain up and do our second row. So we're going to chain 3 and then do 2 double crochet together into the 2 double crochet together stitch we did in the last row. So I turn my work and then find that stitch and do 2 double crochet together into that stitch. And it's not really 2 double crochet together. I guess it's a, because they're in the same stitch in the bottom. A bobble? I don't know. It's 2 double crochet together, but going into the same stitch. It's the same thing. Now, as I said, we're going to have to chain 4 and slip stitch to create that loop that we're going to work around the head. So we're going to chain 4. And then find the base of your chain and do a slip stitch to create your loop. And then we're going to triple crochet into the next stitch. And then double crochet into the top of the chain from the last row. So that's the second row. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. Okay. Now, because we've made that loop, we're going to start working and doing the head into this loop that we created. So first we're going to do a double crochet and then a half double crochet. So I'm going to turn my work and work into this loop. Put your hook in the loop and work into that. So a double crochet and then a half double crochet, and then we're going to chain 4 and then slip stitch down the chain. 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to flip it over so we can work into the backs of the chains. See that little bump? We're going to do slip stitches into the last 3. So put my hook in and slip stitch through. Put my hook in to the next bump and slip stitch through, and put my hook into the last bump and slip stitch through. Okay, so that is the first, probably the horn stub, and then next stitch is the double crochet going into that loop. So again, we're going to put our hook into that loop and do a double crochet, and then we're going to chain 4 and slip stitch into the last 3 chains. So I did my chain 4, I'm going to flip it over, slip stitch under the bump. I'm only going into one strand, going under one strand when I'm doing the slip stitches. Okay, so that's that one. Now I'm going to do a double crochet into the loop. And then we're going to do this interesting ear, which is chain 2 and then a double crochet, chain, slip stitch, chain 2, and then slip stitch to the bottom of that. So it's all very visual. I'll show you how to do it. So first we're going to do our first 2 chains, which is this, and then we're going to turn our work, wrap. Are we going to turn our work? Let me think about this for a second. Nope, we're still going the same way. So I did chain 2, and then we're going to double crochet into the base of that chain 2. Okay, so there's my double crochet. And then we're going to chain and then slip stitch into the base of that chain. So just find that back loop. And then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to connect it to the base of this stitch cluster that we've done. So here's our double crochet. I think probably just around here, the base here, I'm going to put it into that. And slip stitch that down, and there's the ear. Okay, and then we're going to do a double crochet into the same loop we were working into, which is getting a little bigger. And then we're going to chain, do another double crochet, and then chain, and then do another double crochet. But actually here you'll see that there are 2 stitches, so this is 2 double crochet together, but the first part of the double crochet is going to go into this loop, and the second part is going to go into the top of the chain in the second row. So I'm wrapping to do the first part. The first part's going to go in to that loop. So that's my first part done. Now I'm going to wrap and do the first part into the base of row 2. I mean the top of row 2. So this is row 1. This is row 2. So just basically right here. I'm going to do this first part of my second double crochet. And then I'm going to wrap and pull through all 3. And this is the head. This is what it looks like. So now we've gotten here, and we're going to start doing the next row. So I guess we did row 1, row 2, round 3, and now we're doing row 4. So the first thing we're going to do is chain 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into this double crochet stitch. So we're going to turn our work, and we're not going to go into this first stitch, which is the 2 double crochet together. We're going to go into this middle one. So there's 1 double crochet goes in there, and then chain 2. Then we're going to do it again into the same spot, do another double crochet, and then you're going to find the other double crochet, this one, and we're going to do a triple crochet into it, into that stitch. So you see how we find these stitches? You can see them visually. So we're going to go under and do, did I wrap twice? Try. There. So do a triple crochet. And that is the end of row 4. Now we're going to chain 4. And now this is where it gets interesting. This is not really a known common stitch or even advanced stitch that I know of. So, but I can kind of figure it out from the way it's written. So this is what I think it is, and I think it looks right the way I've done it. So I'll share with you what I think. Basically, this whole thing is 1 stitch, and it's going into the chain 2 spot right here. So first we're going to have to wrap to do this bottom part, because it's a kind of like a double crochet, right? So I'm going to wrap and pull through and take off 1 stitch, okay? And then I'm going to continue and do this part. So basically I'm going to do a double crochet now. So I'm going to wrap. I'm going to pretend that this is now the start of my double crochet, where I wrap, pull through 2, and wrap and pull through 2, and there's my double crochet on top of this 1 partial stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to wrap and go into the top, or probably the bottom, of the double crochet stitch that I did just now. So about here, go into that back loop and do a double crochet. So what you wind up with is kind of a little short stitch here and then a V. So that's what's going on here. And then you're going to need to do a triple crochet. We're going to wrap twice and then go into the top of the chain from the previous round. And so that is the mystery stitch that probably was baffling. We're going to be doing that a lot. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how you do it. So we did that one. Now we're going to do row 6. So that's chain 4. And we're going to do it again. So we're going to turn our work, and into that chain 2 space, we are going to do this funky little stitch. I'm going to wrap, put my hook in, pull the yarn through, remove 1, and then wrap and pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2, chain 2, and then do a double crochet into the back loop of that double crochet that we did. And there's another V. And then we are going to do a triple crochet into the top of the chains from the previous row. That is this. So I'm just going to check it off as we're going so I don't get lost. Okay. Next we're going to chain 4 and do it again. So we're going to wrap, going through the 2 chain space, pull through, remove 1 loop, wrap, pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2, chain 2, and then double crochet into the back of the base of that double crochet. Okay. And then we're going to double crochet into the chain 4 space, and chain 4. And that is the next row. Okay. Next we're here, so we're going to chain 4 and turn and do it again. So do our first little stitch and then do double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the back of the double crochet we just did, and then double crochet into the top of the chain 4 space. So now we're at round 9, so I'm going to chain 3 and do our funky stitch into the first double crochet here. So we're going to turn our work and go into the first double crochet, chain 3, and then do a double crochet into the back. I guess it's the second bump of that double crochet we just did. Then we're going to do it again into the other double crochet. So we've just done it once and then twice, and now we're going to do a triple crochet into that chain 4 space. And that is row 9. Now we're going to do the leg, so we are going to be chaining 25. Okay, and we are going to skip the first 3 chains and then do a half double crochet, and half double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to be doing 7 half double crochets, 1 into each back of the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet. 1, 2, and then we're going to do, this looks a little funky, but it's actually a triple crochet going into the 4th chain. So we're going to skip these 3 and do a triple crochet, chain 2, and then do a triple crochet into the first one. So we're going to skip 3 of them and go into the 4th chain. Then chain 2. And then we're going to go into the first chain. Like that. And then we're going to do it again. So we're going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3. And do a triple crochet. And then we're going to chain 2 and go back into the first one we skipped. And then we're going to do it again. So we're going to skip 3 and go into the 4th chain, doing a triple crochet, and then we're going to chain 2 and go into the first one we skipped. Okay, and then so we're right here. Now we're going to do our funky stitch into the chain 3 space from the previous row, and then we're going to do it again into the next chain 3 space of the previous row. Now the only difference with the second one is instead of doing double crochets, we're going to be doing half double crochets. So it's basically the same thing. We're going to wrap, go into the hole, yarn over, remove one of them, and then we are going to wrap, pull through all 3, chain 3, and then do a half double crochet into where we did the first one, just kind of like that. Now we're going to triple crochet into the top of the chain from row 9. And this is what it's looking like so far, and that is row 10. Alright, so now we're going to do row 11. So we're going to go all the way down, do the legs. Actually, we're going to go all the way down here and then go down, do those 3 chains, and then do the legs back. So we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do our funky double crochet stitch. Right, need to chain 3. And then we're going to do our funky stitch again into the next chain 3 space. So we've done this, and then we're going to do it one more time into that chain 2 space that was part of the leg, which is right here. Let me do it again. Okay, so now we are going to chain 3 and slip stitch to the top of this stitch, which I will show you where it is. So we just did our funky stitch into the chain 2 space, which is right here. So then we are going to do a slip stitch into that triple crochet right after that chain space, which is right here. Okay, so we're just going to slip stitch. And we are right here, and now we're going to chain 21. Okay, so now we're doing the next leg. So again, we're going to skip 3 and do a half double crochet, half double crochet into the 4th one. So I'm going to flip it over so I can see the back part of it. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1, 2, and then we're going to chain 2 and do 2 double crochet together. First one is in the first chain, then you're going to skip 2, and the second part is in the chain after that. So this is how we do it. We wrap, go into our first chain, and we're going to do the first part of a double crochet. So we're going to pull through 2 loops, and instead of pulling through those 2 loops, we're going to wrap and do the second double crochet. So we're going to skip 2 and do it in the 3rd chain, wrap and pull through 2 loops, and now we've got 3 loops, and we're going to wrap and pull through all 3. You see how it looks exactly the same? That's what we're doing. Chain 2 chains, and then we're going to do that same stitch again. So we're going to do a the first part of the double crochet in the first chain, and then we're going to skip 2 chains and do the second part into the 3rd chain, just kind of at the end. and then you're going to wrap and pull through all 3 loops. Chain 2, and we're right here, and then we're going to slip stitch with the top of that chain 3 that we did when we were going down. So we're just going to slip stitch at the top. Okay, so now we've got both legs, and we are right at the top right here, and that is row 11. I don't know if I can call them rows, they're just funky. And now we're going to do 12, which is here. So we're going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4, do our funky stitch into the chain 3 space, chain 2, do a double crochet at the base of that double crochet we just did, and we're going to do it again into the next chain 3 space. Chain 2, and again do another double crochet at the base of that double crochet we did. See, I'm not going into the base of the stitch. I've got where I wrapped and pulled through 1 is right here, and then we completed the double crochet stitch, chain 2, and then I did it into the base of that. So that's how you get the V. I hope that's clear. I've done it a million times already. Alright, then double crochet into that chain 4 stitch. Am I missing something? Yes, I am missing something. Why don't you guys stop me? No, because I'm talking to myself. Let me remove these 2 funky stitches. If you were looking here and wondering why I'm confusing you guys, you skip this first chain space and we go into the second one. So we skip this first one and we're going into the second one. And then chain 2 and do a double crochet to the base of that one. And then we're going to do another one into this chain 3 space. And then we're going to do a double crochet in on top of that chain 4 from the last row. And that is row 12. Okay. Now we're going to do row 13, so we need to, I like to just show you guys how it's looking. It's looking great so far, right? Yeah. Halfway done. More than halfway done. Okay, row 13, so we're going to chain 4. And then we're going to do our funky stitch into that chain 2 space. And this time it has a chain 3 in the middle. 3. Then a double crochet into the back of that. And then we're going to do it again into the second chain space. And then we're going to double crochet into the top of the chain 4 from the last row to end row 13. Okay, so we are right here, and now we are going to do the back leg, which we're going to need to chain 23. And then, just like we did before, we're going to skip the first 3 chains and do a half double and half crochet into the 4th chain. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's a half double crochet, and half double crochet, all working into that same stitch. And now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets into the next chain. 1 and 2 into the same chain. Then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet together between the next 2 chains. So we're going to wrap. Do the first part of a double crochet into the next chain. Wrap and pull through 2. Then we're going to wrap and go do the first part of a double crochet into the next chain. Wrap and only pull through 2. And then we're going to wrap and pull through all 3. See, doesn't that look the same? Now we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to triple crochet into the 4th chain. 2, so let's count over 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So there's our triple crochet. We're going to chain 2, and then do our triple crochet, or actually this is now a double crochet. I don't know if she forgot a line. I kind of think she forgot to put a line because it doesn't look any shorter. I don't, you know what, let's just do it as it's written. This would be a double crochet because it's only got 1 line, right? So we'll do a double crochet into that first chain. Alright. And then we're going to, this is a funky one, quadruple crochet, I guess, why not? Alright, so basically we're going to wrap, instead of 2 times, we're going to wrap 3 times. 2, 3, and we're going to skip. So the first one is going to go into 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th chain. So let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. And pull through. And then wrap, pull through 2. Wrap, pull through 2. Wrap, pull through 2. And wrap and pull through 2. And then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to go into the first chain that we skipped. So we're going to wrap 3 times. And do a quadruple crochet. You can, I'm just making that up, but maybe that's what it's called. Crochet is not rocket science, it's a whole bunch of wrapping and pulling through loops. There we go. That's our big X that we've done. And now we're going to do our funky stitch here, but now they want this to be a little bit longer, so we're going to go through 2. So first of all, let me orient my giraffe in the correct manner. There we go. So we're going to go into our first chain 3 loop. So I'm going to wrap twice. And so basically it's like you're starting off with a triple crochet. So I'm going to wrap, pull through, move 1 loop, wrap, remove another loop. Then I'm going to wrap. Sorry. Let me try that again. So we're going to go inside pull through, wrap, remove 2 loops, wrap, remove 1 loop, and then we're going to do our double crochet. Then we're going to chain 3. And we are going to go into the base of our double crochet, which is basically kind of in the middle. It's the second bump. There we go. And then we're going to do 2 triple crochet together into this chain 3 spot and onto the top of the chain 4. So we're going to wrap twice. This is just like doing a double crochet together. You are just leaving the last part to do it after you've done the first 2 parts of this triple crochet and the first 2 parts of this triple crochet. You're going to put them together at the end. So watch. I wrapped twice, and I'm going to start my triple crochet. So I'm going to pull through 2 loops and pull through 2 loops. Then I'm going to wrap twice again, and I'm going to go into the top of this chain and pull through. I'm going to remove 2 loops and then 2 loops. So I've got 3 loops on top, and I'm going to pull through all 3. See? Just like that. Looks exactly the same. And now we're almost done. That was row 14. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 chains. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I said 13, right? Yes. And now what on earth is this? Well, this is what I think it is. I think it's a half double crochet and 2 half double crochets together into that top stitch. So that's what I'm going to do. I think it looks fine. Wrap, and I'm going to go into the first chain and do a half double crochet. And on the same stitch, I'm going to do 2 half double crochet together. So basically, this is a weird one. So I'm wrapping, I'm going into that same chain, and I'm pulling through, and then I'm going to wrap, go through the same chain, and pull through. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops, I believe. And I'm going to wrap and pull through all 5. And then I'm going to get some scissors. And that's the tail. And we've done it. So let's take a look at it. I would say, I think I can put this directly onto the pattern. This is how she does her patterns. This is how I'm quite sure I've done this, how she planned to do it. What do you think? Looks like a giraffe to me. I hope that this video helped you out and you've got a giraffe of your own. If you got any questions, leave it in the chat box below. Thank you.